Good morning, this is Andy with Mountain Computers. Today is, what is today? Thursday? November something, I can't remember. Anyhow, this is going to be a great day. The letter today is A, as in Andy, A as in Apple. This is Andy from Mountain Computers, the Go Green PC tune-up guy. I want to welcome you. We only have a few more letters left in the alphabet, but the letter A today, there is a ton of A's. And that's probably because, just like the yellow pages or the phone book, if you're advertising, you want to be like AA, AAA, single A, all those A's to be right up front before anybody else gets found in the phone book, which is totally doesn't make any sense anyhow, because when people open up the phone book, they open up the middle anyhow, so might as well just start with M. So interesting thought. So anyhow, the letter A. So we don't have any sponsors today other than this cool coffee cup. This cool coffee cup has been with me for over 25 years. And I love coffee. So anyhow, A. Let's get started. Time me. This is going to be quick. It's November. We've been off for about a week. That's okay. Just doing a lot of servers, network encryption stuff, some blockchain stuff, some web stuff, so it's a variety of stuff. So A, how many A's do we have today? Looks like about 30. So how are we going to achieve this? So let me just read this off real quick, okay? Keep up with me if you can, and I will pronunciate things as close as possible. So let's start with the top A. AS400, that deals with casinos, payroll stuff. ASCII, ASP, ACM, AT&T, Azure, AWS, Avid, Avaya, ATX, Audacity, AVG, Avast, Alpha Omega, Access, ACPI, Active Directory, Adobe, AGP, Apache, Apple, OS, App Stores, Arduino. Is that it? Alt symbols. I think that's it. That wasn't too bad. Okay, so let's start with the first one. AS400. That's a mini mainframe. Been around forever. The casinos these days use that for player tracking. Atlantis, The Row, El Dorado, they all have AS400s. When they ask for new employees in the application development field, it'll say AS400, Citrix, whatever. So it's been around forever. Works. It's a pain in the ass. Even in Winnemucca, when I was in Winnemucca, their player tracking went down. My neighbor was the VP of marketing. She asked me because they didn't have anybody else to fix it. I went down there in a matter of, 45 minutes, I fixed an AS400. Yes, back in 1998. They said they'd pay me in 30 days, or 90 days, they said. Net 90? I said, you will pay me now. So when it comes to AS400 support application development, get paid big money because there aren't very many people out there. Even Carpeteria here in South Reno. Carpeteria is running an AS400, okay? Old application, on dial-up, serial ports, modems. So it's been around forever. So AS400, very cool. ASCII character sets. Have you ever seen artwork done in ASCII? It's a character set, 0 to 128, I think, if you think about the base. It just deals with the alphabet, special characters, some symbols and stuff like that, but know your ASCII character set, okay? ASP, active server pages. I program in ASP, classic ASP, as well as ASP.NET and some other things. I don't like ASP.NET because it's bulky, it's hard to read. It has security models of the .NET framework, but really when you see somebody deploy a web application with .NET, you know that if it breaks, they don't know how to really fix it. Seriously, I've had to fix it just by modifying the code. So anyhow, that's interesting and that's weird. So moral of the story is just keep an eye on that. ACM. ACM is an organization which I was a member of for a long time. The Association of Computing Machinery, I think? I can't remember. AT&T. All right, so AT&T. Great for telephone company. DSL was good for a while. They're advertising people to get you in the yellow pages, to get you into the phone book. Their contracts were like ironclad, stupid, long, forever. Their people, legacy, old. Yeah, big company, big iron. But unfortunately, If you have an AT&T email account, SBC Global, any of the Ma Bells, Pac Bell, whatever, get off of it. Get a Gmail account. I can't tell you how many thousands of clients that call me and say my SBC email isn't working anymore. And you have to call them, but they've never been on AT&T services for 4 or 5 years. You got to call, get a temporary password, and it's terrible. It's pathetic. I tell all my older people, even younger, get off that. People in their 50s who have AT&T, SBC Global, even AOL, get off of AOL. Okay. I hate to say Gmail, but that's only Yahoo, a real Yahoo account, not a Yahoo account from some marriage with another, third party. So what else? Azure. That's in French that means white. Azure, Microsoft Azure Cloud Computing. Very interesting. I've tried it, didn't like it. The pricing model wasn't right. The next one is AWS, Amazon EC2 Cloud Computing. They were more price competitive. Azure came back around a year later, got more price competitive. However, Azure is now hosting more than 50% Linux servers and hosted Linux environments, more than Microsoft. That tells you something. Well, you know what? Linux was way ahead of Microsoft as far as cloud, internet, everything. Email, web hosting, everything. And still dominates the market. Still. Okay? The only thing about Microsoft is point and click. All the other technologies are like you got to be a rocket scientist to install it, configure it, protect it, keep it up to date. So that's why. But the solution to all those is a great network appliance in front of it. Just a standalone. Don't rely on the firewalls that are built into the operating systems. Put a network appliance in front of it. Put a sonic wall. Put some HP security appliance. Something massive, in front. To filter all traffic. Do deep packet inspection. Make sure you have another one on the shelf or ready to go to replace it if it dies. Or use, cloud network security, where you're routing your traffic through another provider that has redundancy, etc., etc. So, Avid, great for TV commercials. Great technology, old. I'm familiar with it, but we got rid of it a long time ago. Avaya, communication systems. Expensive. Cisco, all them. AVG, Avast. I'm jumping to the end of the A's. But those are free antiviruses. You can pay for them, but the free ones are just as good. We're about halfway there. I'm trying to keep up. Alpha Omega, AO. That used to be one of my symbols on lots of my music. AO Productions. Okay? Alpha Omega. The beginning, the end. Very cool. Microsoft Access, database, RDBMS package. Comes from Microsoft. If you don't know anything about databases, no Access. Excel is not a database. People who know Excel don't know Access. People who know Access know Excel. So, understand Access. You have to pay for it. It's not free. But understand how to do simple databases. You'll be far off better than the rest of the people. You'll be in the 1% of the 1% of the world. Why not? ACPI, power management. Now this came out of IEEE. ACPI, laptops and ACPI and motherboards and ACPI, power management, sleep mode, hibernation, all that stuff. Microsoft screwed that up so much. You would close your lid, open it back up, your operating system would be corrupted. It wouldn't come out of hibernation, wouldn't come out of sleep mode due to power fluctuations, power outages, and you just have a corrupted operating system. People don't understand. It's not perfected. Docking stations, not perfected. People like them, it's cool until it breaks, and then it's broken hard. So think about that. AD, Active Directory. That's basically LDAP, Lightweight Directory Access Protocol, I think. Yeah, LDAP. So Microsoft called it Active Directory. Basically, it's just a hierarchy of permissions and trees and branches and all this stuff. So people complicate it. I know server administrators and I know network administrators who have totally screwed up Active Directory with policies and group policies and stuff like that. So understand Active Directory a little bit. Users, permissions, computers, groups, clores, forests, domains, you name it. To the point where you can stand it. But Active Directory, you do have to know that a little bit. Adobe, Let's talk about Adobe for a second. That's another A, big A. Let's talk about Flash, Adobe Flash. Great idea, no longer secure, and a lot of browsers are stopping using it. The sad thing about it is, Adobe was a great company, still is in some pockets. However, Flash and other products, like I run CS4, there's CS6, there's Creative Cloud and all those. Those are subscription based. Mine, I just paid one time, $600-700 for CS4. It wasn't the Master Collection, it was just CS4, most of the products. Paid one time, $600-800. So I bought a couple licenses. That's the way it should be. You just should buy it once, that's it. You want updates, the updates should come free, okay? You paid that much. So the subscriptions, they say, well, you just keep on feeding us, we'll get your credit card and we'll get you for other things as we go along. That's a bad model, bad idea, but they're going to do it anyhow. But I still like Adobe. A lot of people use Adobe. AGP, that's a video card slot. Before AGP, there was ISA. Now that's on the motherboard. Those are the slots that peripherals plug into. Then after AGP came PCI. Then after PCI came PCI Express. So AGP was an interesting video card slot on a motherboard. AGP was very cool for a while. Apache, that's a web server. It's part of the LAMP stack, the open source stack. Okay, so think about that. Apple OS. That operating system under the hood of Apple OS is Darwin. Darwin came out of NextStep. NextStep came out of Berkeley Sockets, BSD, Berkeley Sockets Development. It's part of the Unix POSIX platform, so it pretty much runs on everything. But understand, the Linux underneath Apple is not like your normal Linux distributions, like Ubuntu, like Debian, or any of those. Okay, so understand that. App stores. Let's talk about application stores. You have the Play Store, Google Play Store, you have the Apple Store, and now you have a Microsoft Store. These stores are cool to a point. However, for developers, you have to pay to get your stuff in there, and then while it's in there and being used and purchased, they get a cut. For no good reason. Because they're not doing anything to prevent privacy violations, they're not doing anything to prevent malware violations. Mac just came out, or who was it? Google just came out and said, please, all these security companies, look at our Play Store, look at our Google Play Store. Go through it and go through every app and help us. It's a little late, idiots. So, the Microsoft Store on Windows, the desktop, has a mode called S mode. That S mode is a pain in the ass to turn off. You got to create a live account. And then when you turn it off, you can't go back. Well, that's wrong. In Android, on other technologies, you can go into developer mode and out of developer mode. Yes, turn off all the restrictions. Take off the training wheels. Take off the bed rails. Let me do what I need to do. But S mode means you can only install things out of the Microsoft Store and that's it. Well, that can't be trusted either. So come on, folks, Microsoft, S mode. Turn it off, turn it on. Make it easy, just on, off. That's it, okay? Developer mode in the Android, what? You hit the about button on the OS version 4 or 5 times or 10 times, then it takes it out. Allows you to really access the Android operating system. So from my standpoint as a systems engineer, make S mode really easy, please. Let's talk about Arduino. Okay, Arduino. I had a customer come in who does Arduino boards, and he plugs his Arduino test bench, into his $2,000, $3,000 workstation and blows the motherboard. Who does that? If you're doing bench level electronics, plug it into a simple motherboard. That's like 65 bucks. Not a $250, $300 motherboard, okay? I know people who plug their cell phones into the front of their computers to charge their phones. That's the stupidest thing ever. You can't do that. You're taking a $1,000 phone and plugging it into another $1,000 device and potentially blowing up the USB headers on a motherboard on the computer just by jiggling the USB port or pressing it and pushing it too wrong or doing something. Okay? A computer is not a charging device. the wall outlet with an adapter is the charging device, okay? Not a computer. I have told so many people, stop using your computer as a charging device. Well, it's so easy and convenient. Yeah, until you screw it up, and then you have to buy a new computer. That's stupid. So, think, folks, think. Use some common sense. Don't plug your Arduino workstation test kit into an expensive device or your cell phone. Charge off the wall, okay? If you blow a circuit, you can reset the circuit breaker on the wall, okay? So, what else? Audacity, ATX. Oh, ATX mini ATX and ITX boards. That's a 9x9 board, 10x10 board, 10x13 board. Understand those. When you look at a computer case, understand, space, how much gets used, Audacity, open source sound recording editing. Simple. Audacity. It's like VLC player. I download VLC all the time for people when movies don't want to play. So that's A for today. I can't tell you how many things I just went through crazily. And I hope you got a grasp of everything. Again, this is Andy from Mountain Computers, the Go Green PC Tune-Up Guy. Like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see how this works, okay? I'm not sure how this is going to look after post. But have a great day. There will be more to come. Bye-bye. Take care.